What happens when a modern city suddenly faces more rain in a few hours than most places see in an entire month? How do streets, subway systems, and entire neighborhoods hold up when the sky refuses to stop pouring? Imagine being on your morning commute, and within minutes, water begins rushing past your car doors, leaving you stranded with nowhere to go. These are not distant what-ifs, but real events that unfolded in China's southwest this summer. Today, we're diving into the massive floods that hit Chengdu, Sichuan, in August 2025. On the morning of August 20th, the skies above Chengdu already looked heavy. The city of over 20 million people is no stranger to summer storms, but this one carried a sharper edge. By evening, the Municipal Weather Office and Water Authority released a bulletin predicting not just heavy rain, but something far more serious: 50 to 80 millimeters across much of the city, with some districts facing 130 to 150 millimeters. Even more alarming were hourly bursts of up to 70 millimeters, enough to drown streets in under an hour. But it wasn't just the numbers. The notice included urgent instructions for township and village leaders to immediately take their posts in mountain flood hazard zones. That kind of language is rare and signaled that officials believed the danger was real and imminent. Chengdu's geography makes this even riskier. With rivers, tributaries, and runoff from surrounding mountains, floods can build rapidly and overwhelm neighborhoods before anyone has a chance to react. The Sichuan Provincial Meteorological Office reinforced the warning, issuing a blue rainstorm alert, the lowest of China's four-tier system. But paired with city warnings and already waterlogged soil, it carried weight. The rainfall process, it said, would last until August 24th, affecting a wide area and raising risks of flash floods and landslides. National authorities took notice as well. The State Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters activated a Level 4 emergency response across several provinces, including Sichuan. Though the lowest tier, it triggers coordination between ministries, mobilization of monitoring teams, and faster movement of resources. Xinhua reported this on August 21st, confirming that Chengdu had become a key area of national concern.
The Xiaokao and other waterways burst past warning marks, pressing against embankments and swallowing roads.
The timing couldn't have been worse. Just weeks earlier, in early July, Chengdu had endured a record-breaking deluge. At the People's Park Station in Qingyang District, rain gauges measured over 323 millimeters in a single day, with some reports listing totals as high as 353 millimeters. More shocking was a 4-hour window when 315 millimeters fell, an average of nearly 80 millimeters an hour. At its peak, the station recorded 102 millimeters in a single hour. For context, many cities treat 50 millimeters in an hour as a flooding emergency. Chengdu had seen double that. Those figures were still fresh in memory when the August warnings arrived. Even if August didn't match July's intensity, the city's soil was already saturated. Once the ground can't absorb more water, every drop becomes runoff, overwhelming drains and spilling into streets. That's when roads disappear, cars float, and subway tunnels threaten to flood.
The Chengdu Meteorological Observatory upgraded the rain alert to red.
Residents captured the unfolding chaos on video. Streets became rivers within minutes. Buses and cars were stranded, half submerged. Pedestrians waded through knee-deep water. Some of the most dramatic footage came from subway stations, where staff scrambled to build barriers of sandbags as water surged toward stairwells. Transit officials suspended services on several lines while pumps battled the rising floods.
Chengdu, Sichuan, August 24th, 2025. On the morning of road collapses and urgent rescue operations across many districts of August 24th, 2025, Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, was hit by relentless rainfall that unleashed severe flooding.
Officials explained why the storms were so destructive. Zhang Tao, deputy director of the Chengdu Meteorological Observatory, described July's storm as sudden, with massive totals and extreme hourly intensity. Those three factors, sudden onset, large totals, and intensity, formed the perfect storm that pushed Chengdu's defenses beyond their limits. Even well-engineered drainage systems aren't designed for rainfall at those levels. The city's emergency response was broad and coordinated. Crews evacuated people from low-lying districts, hospitals went on alert, and power companies rushed to shield substations from flooding. Traffic police shut down underpasses and bridges as waters rose. Public works teams deployed pumps, cleared blocked drains, and stacked sandbags at vulnerable points. Residents were warned not to drive through flooded roads, to avoid bridges, and to seek higher ground when conditions worsened.
On the morning of August 20th, 2025, Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan province, was engulfed.
But the challenge goes beyond immediate response. Chengdu's geography makes it especially vulnerable. The Sichuan basin traps moist air, and when monsoon systems interact with it, the result can be devastating rain. As climate patterns shift, these intense downpours are likely to become more common. What once seemed like once-in-a-decade storms are now hitting multiple times in a single summer.
Cho hay, Trung Quốc xả lũ to quá, Lào Cai ngập hết rồi.
The numbers speak clearly. Forecasts called for up to 150 millimeters in August, while July's totals exceeded 323 millimeters in one day, with an hourly peak above 100 millimeters. No drainage system can keep up with water falling that fast. The urgency in the city bulletins, ordering hazard zone leaders to take their posts, showed how human decisions can matter as much as engineering in these situations. By August 24th, the rainfall process finally eased, leaving behind waterlogged streets, battered infrastructure, and exhausted residents. But the lesson was unmistakable. A city of millions, built in a basin, surrounded by rivers and mountains, must prepare for storms that are no longer rare. With climate change amplifying extremes, rainfall that once seemed extraordinary is becoming increasingly routine.
Extreme rain, while 35 others logged heavy precipitation, 185 millimeters.
Chengdu's summer of 2025 tells that story vividly. The raw numbers, the 323 millimeters in July, the 150 millimeter forecasts in August, the hourly peaks above 100 millimeters, show the scale. The quotes from meteorologists highlight the suddenness and severity. The images of flooded roads, submerged cars, and disrupted subway lines make it real. And the emergency actions, from evacuations to national coordination, reveal both the city's vulnerabilities and its resilience. The floods of July and August were more than weather events. They were a reminder of how fragile modern infrastructure can be when nature pushes beyond human limits. And they showed the resilience of ordinary people facing extraordinary conditions, adapting, helping, and enduring until the waters receded. The